Okay, this isn't going to be an update about the design of Eddie, and also just various enhancements that have been made since the last time. So, Eddie was very problematic, um, but I kind of, finally got him to a good place where he has some capabilities and doesn't just get his ass beat. So just so you can see how much has been in here, been put into this. So in the previous version, there were 49 frames of animation, unique frames of animation for Eddie, and now there are 71. And these extra animations were created as composites, basically, of existing animations, just so I can kind of get things together to, be able to do something. And so right now I'm loading up an older version of the game, and I just want to talk about kind of like what was in my head, what I wanted to do, and you can see just like the trade offs I made and how I came to the conclusions I did. So this is busted Eddie, basically unfinished Eddie. So I mean, obviously, because he doesn't have a true jump animation, what I pretty much did was I took the frame of him, winding up, to pull his arm back to swing his baton, and basically just zeroed out the shadow on it, so it looked like he was in air. But see, the problem with this though is that because he's already winding up in his jump animation, if you do an air attack, you don't really have a sense of motion because basically the sense of motion in the animation is you want a contrast between the attack not happening and the motion of the attack happening. So one of the things that I did basically was created an alternate version of this animation frame, basically without the left arm, so that then I could have a jump animation that would allow me to preserve like the full flow of the attack, where you actually see the movement. The arm moves back and then it moves forward, to do the attack. So that was one of the first things that was done. And also, just because when you have this one animation frame there, and his arm isn't up in the air, just to give it more of a sense, that he was jumping. Basically, what I did was, I composited basically his different walk animation frames, his leg movement, so that when he's jumping in air, he can then kind of, waddle, move his legs around, kind of like Luigi when he's jumping in the air. Just so we kind of have like some form of, jump, where it doesn't just look completely static. So that was how I went about addressing issues, with his, jumping attacks. Because you can see right here, see how, like in the old version, like when he jumps, his arm is already wound back. So it's really more like when you press attack, it just kind of releases it, which is kind of weird. Like you really want to have the full motion, like it's like you're jumping versus actually doing, the midair jump. Okay, so the other main problem, that had to be solved is so if you want to make a beat 'em up character feel good to control, one of the critical things basically is having like a good normal attack. You can't have a gimp normal attack. It has to have some range on it. It has to be effective, and you can see that like in the previous version, it was just this. It was just really crappy. Where he's basically just bonking you on the head, and it only has like 2 frames of animation. Just doesn't. It's really just not doing much. So that was pretty garbage. And then his strong attack, to basically like knock things back, was essentially his baton move. And so the next thing that I did was I said, okay, that doesn't work. Need to go back to the drawing board on that one. And so what I ended up doing was compositing different animation frames, like from like his grab animations when he takes out his gun and butts you in the head with it. To basically create a different knockback animation. And then, because I have a different knockback animation, I can then start to use his baton attack as his normal. Because his baton attack has some range on it, has an arc, and I could, use that as a decent normal. So that's the other, major thing that, helped clean this guy up. So, so just yeah. So basically, like the collision wasn't really finished, can really do a lot of stuff. I mean, you can see like the, the like there, it's like that should have totally hit the barrel. It's like the collisions are just not there. Okay, so let me go to the current build, and then you can see just how much was done here, and just how dramatically it changes the character, and how much more fun it is to play. So you can see now, see he has a jump basically where he kind of waddles, and because he has that separate jump animation, when he's in midair, I can then do an attack. See where he takes out his baton, and then you get the full arc of the attack, as opposed to not having that whole flow in midair, and so that allows me to do that. And now you can see that his normal is basically swinging his baton, and you can see that I adjusted it so it's pretty fast. Like he can really beat people fast with this, and he needed it because basically the character is very vulnerable because his walking speed is so slow here, and he needs a strong normal. And then you can see the adjusted strong attack where basically that was pulled from various versions of composited from different animations that he has. And this can be used to like knock back things, and the nice thing about this, you notice too that when he does animation, one of the extra frames is basically him kind of grimacing, like showing his teeth, and so even though it doesn't really have a lot of frames on it, that actually does kind of help with the animation, and make it seem smoother than it really should be. So other major things is that on his shooting, the shooting with his gun, I adjusted it so that if you hold down the button, you can basically just keep firing without holstering again, and this gives him a little bit more capability there. Because he basically needs it, and the other thing too is that I implemented charging for him, so he has this rock speed, but in in the original game, when you fight the boss, when his health gets low, he starts moving around faster. So basically, he has a charge. If you charge, you can move faster. And also, two different charge attacks, a weak and a strong charge attack, have been built in. And basically, the weak charge attack is this. Where if you're running or you double tap, you can basically do kind of like a charging overhead, thunk, and then the strong one is a charging baton attack. So that gives him some more capability. Also, I gave him pummel capability, kind of like Hager, where if you do down, up, and strong attack, you can actually just do kind of just like a standing pummel. So basically you can see he kind of has a lot of different moves now. There's a lot of different things he can do, and I implemented all of his grab stuff. So basically now he can actually grab and beat people with his gun, and the interesting thing too is you notice the strong attack animation. He kind of had some animation frames, where his arm is extended. And basically, once again, compositing, I took advantage of this, and I said, you know what? There's no reason that even though he didn't have it in the original game, there's no reason I can't give him the capability to throw enemies. So you'll see too that he can also throw people, and that also gives him some more capability because he can now get out of some sticky situations because he's able to throw enemies. So. Yeah, I mean, but basically, Eddie can get crap done now, and honestly, the truth of it is, this actually had no right to play as well as it did. It just, it's actually kind of a minor miracle that, even this much, really, I don't know, man. This one took a lot out of me. This was a big pain in the ass to really get all this going because it really is bleeding rocks. But I'm pretty happy with it. It's it's a big step up over what it used to be. And And that just gets me, one step closer, basically, where uh, one more character's, more or less in the can, and so that's one less embarrassing thing. So yeah, and also, even though obviously because I don't have the sound on, you can't hear it. There has been work on, like sound effects too, where I have been, ripping some sound from Final Fight Revenge, for some of the characters that actually didn't have sound effects in the original Final Fight, to give them some kind of, grunts, different sounds for all these moves, because basically they can do so much stuff that they couldn't do in the, in the original game. So, you got to kind of come up with something there. But yeah, it's actually pretty fun to play. You know, he can bring home the bacon now. So the other thing too. So just on top of Eddie, I have done some stuff with the just kind of broader game fixes and enhancements. So all right, I gotta stop screwing around here. So now you'll notice that the options have been broken up into two different screens. So before it was just one game options. Now there's game options and video options. And so video options basically just isolate all of the video stuff, and basically this is going to give me the capability to because basically I was running out of room. So now this is going to give me the capability to do things like, I can have an option, pick the shader you want, pick different things, because now I have actual room for it, and you can see like even within the game you can turn the floating point positioning thing on and off. To my character set, I added a degree symbol, so now you can see a degree with the thing that you set in the rotation. And then you can see in the game options, some things that weren't available before are there now. See, like now you can dynamically set how many enemies spawn per player within the game. You can change the language within the game, without having to change the, the INI file. So you can see, like, if I change it to Spanish, and it just immediately takes effect. And then I got the, everything in Spanish. Oops. Yeah, so basically just kind of, going postal and trying to make this thing as good as I can possibly make it. But yeah, like it is. I mean, it's shaping up though, man. I've been kicking ass. I've been kicking ass lately. I just really just kind of put my head down, and I've just been like, you know what, fuck this. I'm finishing it this year. And so there's really only, basically, Poison. Poison needs like a pass like Eddie got. Where I need to like really review the whole thing and figure out, okay, like how can I make this work, and I'll be rebalancing and tweaking Slash and Axel essentially to buff them, make them a little bit more viable. But yeah, it's shaping up though. I'm pretty happy about the way all that's going.